Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri, and is the world's first single barrel only liquor store. This business is owned and operated by Steve Akley and Jim Fosnot. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution list. That way you'll know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and what barrel picks they have in the works. We are also sponsored by The Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers a fully customizable carrying case that allows you to take your favorite distilled spirits or cocktail ingredients with you. Whether you're looking for yourself, a customized gift, or logo items for your business or event, The Bar to Go can help. Check them out at thebar2go.com. Use the number 2 when you type out The Bar to Go. Did you know Neely Family Distillery now ships its popular distilled spirits directly to you? To order, simply call 859-394-3258. Tell them the ABV Network sent you. And now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we talk to Steve about how his bourbon job is going. My name is Cailee Baker. Please join me in welcoming my co-host and the star of the show, Steve Akley, along with our special guest, Phil Collin and Tony Friend.
Hey gang, what's up? Hey.
Hey.
So it is going to be a fun show today. You guys get to ask me questions about my bourbon journey and all that kind of stuff. We'll see what you come up with. But before we get to that, I have a question for you. Is Amazon getting too efficient? And the reason why I asked this is I literally got home from work last night. We had a lot going on. And by the time I sat down on the couch, it was 10 o'clock at night. And I ordered some office supplies. We were out of pens and stuff like that. And some 3x5 cards we use for pricing and stuff. I just ordered, it's just easier. I hate going to the store. It's just easier to buy and then ship. And then I thought, they're pretty efficient. That could even show up tomorrow. I thought I'll ship it to the house versus the shop because no one is going to be at the shop tomorrow. And, no way to receive. So I ship it to the house and, guess what happens? This is 10 o'clock at night. And today, as we record, this is a Sunday. This happens today at 5:30 a.m. We happen to be up because the wife and my sister-in-law and my niece were staying at the house because they had to leave early in the morning. They had to go to Maker's Mark, and we're to go into Maker's Mark is it's like 5 hours from the house, and then we lose an hour going east. So if you're going to be there for lunch, you got to leave at like 6 o'clock in the morning. So that gets you there at noon. So they were up early. We're up at 5:30, and my wife comes running to me. She said, "There's a guy rummaging through a car outside." And I don't know what's going on. And I think he's walking up our driveway now. And so I go running to the door and I see a guy and he's got a bag in his hand and he drops it on the bench and turns around and walks away. He's just got like a regular car. And he goes and jumps in his car and leaves. And I'm like, that's an Amazon guy. He's not in a uniform. He's just in a regular car, not in an Amazon delivery truck, those vans or anything. He's literally in a Hyundai car. Not a vest, nothing identified him. He's out on my porch. And 5:30 in St. Louis, it's still dark. I mean, there's no light or anything. So 5:30, I ordered at 10 o'clock at night on a Sunday, mind you. 5:30 in the morning, it's delivered. Are they getting too efficient? I know. It's crazy. That is right?
Ridiculously efficient. I think my husband probably would have shot him, honestly.
I know. I'd be afraid if I was that guy to go walking on somebody's porch. And again, not anything identifying. It'd be different if I could look out and I see one of those Amazon vans. I'd be like, well, this is very weird. But yeah.
5:30 on a Sunday, the shotgun's coming out. I'm sorry.
The car was parked in front of our house, and it's not unusual because we live in a subdivision that has most of our neighbors have places at the lake. Now that they have adult children, the kids stay behind. They have parties, so there's many times when there's cars parked all over the subdivision, and because the kids end up spending the night, and so yeah, it was. And she saw him in this car. She thought it was a guy, going through and stealing stuff out of a car initially. So that's what got it going. So yeah, they're just like too efficient, I think.
It's a wonderful world we live in, full of mysteries. And one thing I don't understand is how Amazon can make a profit turning around an order of office supplies and drive to your door.
Paying a guy to drive around in his car to deliver it. I'm not kidding you. It was like $18 worth of stuff. office
I
supplies.
bundle my Amazon orders because I feel bad about how inefficient it is. Just for their sake, even though they do it with incredible speed, to deliver 6 different boxes in 2 days of individual products. So I usually click the just deliver it all on Saturday. Yeah, it feels more like Christmas that way anyway.
Yeah. Tony is maybe has some unique insight here because he's from the world of Amazon. He's a guy who lived in Seattle. Multiple times on his feed going back when he lived in Seattle, he would post pictures of Jeff Bezos, or at least someone who looked like him or thought was him. I remember those, Tony. You'd be like, I think that's Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, so for a while I lived in Bellevue outside of Seattle, which is full of millionaires, and they come out of there's this area near Bellevue called Medina, and there's really only 2 ways out of there. So I see this bald guy in a Lamborghini pull up, and it looks like Jeff Bezos, so I figured it was him.
Right.
He didn't have my damn Amazon package though.
That would have been great if Jeff would have been dropping it off.
But yeah, in Seattle it was crazy.
Says Kindle. The license plate says Prime. That's how you know it's him.
Yeah.
In Seattle it was crazy because you could get stuff delivered in just a few hours, and it would show up on time. I showed my friend, he was like, man, I moved out to Arizona, I can't even find Buffalo Trace or Eagle Rare. And I was like, log on to Amazon. Oh, it says I can get Eagle Rare in about 4 hours. That's how Amazon works in Seattle.
Really? You can order booze even?
Oh yeah.
Really? Oh, we can't do anything like that.
Yeah, they just started that a couple of years ago. It was limited, but they had a lot of the Buffalo Trace stuff, E.H. Taylor, Eagle Rare.
Wow.
That's cool. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And in your doorstep in just a couple hours.
Yeah. What's the sales tax in Washington there though? I buy a $100 bottle. How much sales tax am I paying in Seattle?
So every bottle is 20%.
Whew! That's insane. So so my $100 bottle is now 120. That is just, that's too much. That's too much.
They also have a bottle tax based on the size of the bottle. So a 750 ml, I think, is about $2.83. So let's say $3. But that means your $10 bottle is 20%. So that's $12 plus a flat tax of $3, which makes it $15. So basically just went up 50%.
Damn.
That's terrible. Yeah.
You got me on a roller coaster ride of being excited for ease of ordering, and then went right back down.
But I can find Eagle Rare at the grocery store all day long. So
sure, because it's $127.
Actually, it was $30 before tax and about $40 with tax, so not bad.
Interesting. I guess the distributor's taking the hit. That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, 50 states, 50 taxes. It's so.
It is, yeah. The liquor industry is really messed up. It's
fun.
It's a challenging industry for sure. But
yeah, they could easily, I feel like, make it all easier for everybody, but they just don't.
No.
They just want to make our lives difficult.
And it can't be fixed. I don't think, because every state has got their own way of doing it, and they don't want to change. They're
on top of that, outdated government regulation. Just to give one example, I often, when I lead presentations with Phil Talks Whiskey, will drop nuggets like, "Did you know there's only a few approved bottle sizes that you could actually put the liquor in?" You
just can't put it in any size. Yeah,
and people are like, "What? Why?" And I said, "There's really no great answer." Yeah. This is a little outdated. But
I feel like
general,
one day the whole world will agree on alcohol tax and weed will be legal. At some point in a perfect world, those two things will happen.
So is there still a maximum bottle size? Can you still not bottle anything in the States that's spirits bigger than 1.75? Or is that
going to say 1.75?
There is a maximum size, but I'm not sure if it's 1.75 or not.
I'm pretty sure it's 1.75 for spirits. I think it's more for wine, but
Amazon good, liquor tax is bad. That's what I think we've concluded here.
Yeah. All right. Well, guess what, gang? It is time to drink. What is everyone drinking? Let's start with me this time.
All right.
The only one who hasn't gone first, I think, if I did this correctly. So I'm going to go Stranahan's 2021 Snowflake. So there you go. Ooh, nothing there. I think that's going to be beat, but we'll see. I'm holding out hope that maybe everyone has got samples or screw tops or something. I need help here to get this win, but we'll see what happens. Phil, you're next.
I'm on my way to the golden sombrero of 4 strikeouts in a session of recordings, but hope springs eternal with this Knob Creek single barrel 120 proof bet.
Nope.
No.
Nothing.
Um,
Barely
I'm,
baked.
I'm clinging to that lead. Tony, you're next.
So I switched mics again. Hopefully this works. I've got some
Mike, yeah.
Still 630
Oh, still
SS sorghum, straight
yes.
whiskey, ABV Barrel Shop, private barrel pick.
Nice. Very nice.
See here.
Wow. No, the mic got you again.
Jesus.
Yeah, we didn't really hear anything there.
No.
It's, yeah. I'm sorry, Tony. I'm sorry.
I wonder
All
if it's a Zoom setting.
It could be. There is a setting that does help, apparently, but I don't know what it is.
Cheaters.
All right. Cailee, what do you got?
So since we're talking about you, I know 291 is one of your favorite distilleries.
Oh,
So I went with, and this is actually a birthday present to myself because I turned 28 this year. So it's 29 minus 1 is 28. That's how nerdy I am. And you know what's
That's
funny?
why he named the company that, yes.
You know what's funny? I got my husband the same bottle. Well, actually, the bottle of their rye because he turned 30 this year. 29 plus 1 is 30.
Okay. Yeah, perfect.
So if
That's
you're
the
ever
perfect-
wondering, I'm just like a nerd about numbers, weirdly.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but here we go. This is the first time I'm cracking it, so I'm really excited about
She's
this.
removing the cage right now. All right, now here comes the cork.
Oh!
That's the best cork pop of the night right there. That was a good one.
That's a pretty cool cork too.
Oh yeah,
I like that cork.
It's real cork, so different.
Yeah.
Different than most. So, but I'll tell you what. Here's the secret about that. That's one good cork pop, and then that's it. You'll never win
Yeah.
another cork pop. The first one's
figured.
great though. Yeah, that's how.
Good thing I have another one.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. So, cheers, gang.
Cheers.
everyone.
All right, we'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, the gang's going to be asking me about my bourbon job. We'll do that in just a few. Let's talk about the people who make these shows happen. First up is the ABV Barrel Shop. It is the most unique shopping experience in the world of bourbon, as the ABV Barrel Shop only sells single barrels. Owners Steve Akley and Jim Fosnot select. With over 100 distilleries on board to sell us barrels, we are home to the most unique and diverse barrel pick selections in the bourbon world. By signing up for our email, you will always know what we have in stock. In addition to the single barrels, we'll have a gift shop featuring ABV Barrel Shop as well as ABV Network merchandise. We are partnering with vendors like Art Eatables and Old Man Bay Signs to bring you unique items you can't find anywhere else. We will also have a 24-seat classroom where we are offering educational and fun classes like Breakfast and Bourbon, a series where we pair donuts and bourbon, customer barrel picks, and opportunities to learn from master distillers and other bourbon dignitaries. Best of all, we feature a tasting bar where you can try before you buy. All of this is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. If you are in the St. Louis area, please stop by to say hi. If you're traveling in from outside the area, please take advantage of our hotel rates with the Drury Inn and Pear Tree Inn, less than a mile from our shop. This can be done via the links in our Visit St. Louis section on our website. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to plan your trip. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. Hi, this is Steve Akley, owner of the ABV Network. We're sponsored by the Stave and Thief Society. This is where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge a bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my Executive Bourbon Steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification program available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Okay, let's talk about the Neely Family Distillery. In 2018, I met Royce Neely at an industry event. He started appearing on our shows, and we became friends during my frequent trips to Kentucky. Today, he is amongst the leaders of young distillers leaving their mark on the bourbon industry. A visit to Neely Family Distillery yields insight on their unique family history, why their products are special, and gives you the opportunity to taste their whiskey, moonshine, and creams. Check them out at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com or visit them in Sparta, Kentucky.
I am Stephanie MacLeod. You are listening to the Bourbon Daily. The real name of the palisade is an ampersand.
Wow, that is good. All right.
Oh.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. We are talking about Mr. Steve Akley and how he is doing in his job in the bourbon world.
Yes, we are. So, yeah, well, I guess we'll just let you guys ask the question. So,
Steve, how's it going?
it's going good. Yeah, real good. I have two bourbon jobs, actually. So I have the ABV network, which is still actively going. You can tell. How do you know it's actually going? Because you're listening to it right now. So that would be a way to check. And, then I've got the ABV Barrel Shop, Jim Fosnot and I. So, yeah, it's going really well as well. I'm lucky that I'm partnered with Jim Fosnot. He's a great person to work with, and we have a lot of fun. And I think we have complementing skills. So it's really a good situation for sure.
Is this your first time as like a store owner, as like a retail guy? I know you have experience in that world and you've stepped foot in more grocery stores than there are grains of sand on the beach. But is this your first time being a retail shop owner?
Yes, definitely. First time being involved in anything like that at all. Never owned any sort of shop or anything like that. So yeah, it's really cool. I enjoy it a lot. I enjoy getting creative with the space that we have and how do we continue to build momentum and excitement and bring people in, and I just love everything about it so far. So I'm sure maybe that newness will wear off at some point, but for right now, it's great. I couldn't be happier. I love being there, and I spend a lot of hours there, but I do most of those because I want to be there. So
Right.
it's just besides having a schedule, I usually get there early, and if you look at it, it's long days, but I never feel like that. I'm just having fun. So
And real fast, for those who don't know, what makes the bottle shop unique to your average Joe's liquor shop?
So yeah, what's unique about us, and we're one of a kind, and I mean, I guess somebody could try to replicate it. They would have a very hard time. But the reason why it works, and all we do is single barrels, and that's it. So it's barrels that we go in, we taste, and we select. And the reason why it works is all the relationships, the fact that I know these people from distilleries across the country, and I'm able to call them and say, well, are you willing to sell me a barrel? Then I work with the distributor. So we've started out partnering with like 3 of them, and then it seems like one is really hustling and earning our business. So we work with one distributor that's kind of approving all these into the state. And it's really a cool situation that it just works. So we've got over 100 distilleries that have agreed to sell us a barrel. Over time, we'll work through all of them. You can't do all of them at once, of course, for many reasons, not the least of which is we don't have that kind of money to pay for 100 barrels. So, but over time, we'll work with all of them. We'll rotate them all through, and it allows them to have the comfort of expanding their distribution, oftentimes into a new state, and not have to worry about, hey, how am I going to be able to keep these shelves full? No, you don't need to keep the shelves full. Sell us a barrel and we'll sell through it. And when it's gone, you know what? We're ready for it the next time you're ready to sell us a barrel. There's no pressure on you to do that. So the distilleries love it, and it's been going really well.
Tremendous.
I will say on the distillery side, I love the idea. I think that, I have been sending a lot of people your way just because of the uniqueness of your store. But I think that, the best part about it is especially for distilleries like Leatherwood, that we don't do a higher proof whiskey. Andy likes his lower proof. He likes it at 85 proof for our bourbon. To have that exclusivity of, having a distillery sell you a product that's cask strength that they don't even sell themselves.
Right.
How is that going for you? How fast are these barrels selling out?
Yeah. So I'm going to grab one here. You're talking about that, and that's something like the Samuel Burton I've got right here. So Samuel Burton has been in business for a while here in St. Louis. They're very small, a little tiny place, but working through hustle and you get to self-distribute in Missouri. So literally, if Tony's been to my shop, and my shop is probably 3 times the size of Samuel Burton. That gives you an idea how small they are. Probably 300 square feet or something like that. I don't have much space. Tiny place. But, they've only sold things at 90 proof. And they gave us samples for this first barrel pack. They proofed them down to 90 because they said, this is what you'll be buying is 90. And we said, you know what? We found one that we really liked, but it needs more. It feels uninspired to us. Would you sell it to us at barrel strength? And they said yes. And it ended up being the most popular thing. And we've turned new customers to them. Again, they don't sell anything barrel strength themselves, but we've had a lot of people come in and said, I don't like their stuff. And we're like, well, try this. And matter of fact, they gave us a full bottle of our product at 90 proof. We let them sample them side by side. Here's the 90 proof version. Here's our version. And here's why we like cast strength. And, they're winning new fans. So I think it's an opportunity, because we only do cast strength, that it's an opportunity to maybe do things a little bit differently for those distilleries too. And if it's just a one-off to us, that's okay, because we are connected to bourbon fans. There's bourbon fans that come in from, it's been amazing the number of people that have come from out of town and spent the night just to go to our shop and stuff like that.
That's a feather in your cap. That's awesome.
It's very cool. Yeah. It's quite the honor. So yeah, what else you guys want to know?
Awesome.
Yeah, so I got a two-part question here.
Okay.
So you've been doing the ABV network basically full-time for the past 4 or 5 years or so.
Yeah.
How did the barrel shop idea come about, and how is the transition to passing on some of the ABV network duties on to someone else and dedicating more time to the barrel shop?
Yeah. Yeah. So what's, the barrel shop idea is an offshoot of what I do at the ABV network. So it all starts out with, Jim, who was running Total Wine, the Brentwood location, but he was also doing the barrel picks for the market. So there was 4 Total Wine stores at that time. There's 5 in St. Louis Metro now, but not when Jim was there. There's 4. And he was doing all these barrel picks, and he would bring me on because he liked the idea where I'd podcast it, and then we would drop the podcast when it came out, helped create some excitement about it. And I was doing classes there and stuff like that. And Jim and I got to be friends, and we were doing all these barrel picks, and it was like, man, we should just do this for ourselves. So we started talking about it, and it took probably a couple years from just, hey, this is an idea, to let's start working on it. We worked on it hard for like a year. Our idea initially, though, was a full service liquor store that specialized in barrel picks. And what we realized is we didn't have enough money to do that. So we tried to get investors, and we had some interest. But again, what investors want to do is they want to, take over. They don't want to do any of the work, but they want to tell you how you're going to do the work.
And you should do the work.
Yeah. So we were like, we can't have investors. And you know what? We set a drop dead date to find investors, and it came and went. And Jim and I kind of quit talking about it, I noticed. And it was like it died. And one day I was at lunch with the warden, with the wife, and we were out, and I was like, it just came across me. Why can't we do? What would stop us from just doing barrel picks? So I sent an email, a text. I just typed it out sitting there at lunch at the restaurant. You're with your spouse, but you're not even talking to her. You're looking at the phone, and that's what I did, because I typed out this long text and said, Jim, what if we just did just the barrel picks? And all of a sudden it got going again, and then it still took us. That was probably October of, it's probably been a year ago now. And then we leased the space in April. So it took us from October to April to get the space, and then from April to July to build out. And then we've been open since July 9th. So yeah, that's
awesome.
That's what we got going. Did I get the answer to all that, Tony, or did I forget any part?
Yeah. Well, how's the transition been from dedicating more of your time?
Yeah. So what I've been able to do is, what I was working, a lot of the stuff for the ABV network is administrative. You're writing things, you're sitting around, and I would do all that just sitting on my couch. And I don't know, I didn't even like the idea of sitting on the couch all day long working on this stuff. And now I still do really basically what I was doing, but I do it at the shop now. So I sit actually on the sales floor. I sit because we have the education center, and it's not a huge, again, it's a very small space. You walk in, there's kind of the sales area that accounts for probably two-thirds, well, no, like 1/3 of the floor. And then it's like 2/3 is tasting bar and education. And I sit at one of the tables, and, when people come in, I'm able to jump up and say hello to them and greet them. Jim usually is in the back in the office, and I don't know exactly what he's doing back there. I'm not sure, reading the internet, I think. But we're both up early is what we always say. We're old men, so we get up early. So we just show up. He goes and, he does a lot of the administrative stuff for the business. So he's back there doing that. I'm working on the ABV network stuff, editing shows, literally on the sales floor, editing shows and doing all the stuff, writing blogs and all the things, the newsletters. I just do all that stuff just sitting at the shop. And when customers come in, I put that aside. Computer just sits there, and no one ever even says anything about it. It's part of the experience of being there. I'm set up and working. So yeah, it's cool. It works out well.
Cool.
That's my favorite time to get work done is when I'm just sitting at the bar and some people come in. I just put my computer to the side and pay attention to them. And I think it makes people feel special.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it all. I feel like, and it's very close to my house. I'm within like 8 minutes of the shop, but it just feels like I'm going to the office. I get up and I go, and I'm not laying on a couch, typing things out or sitting upright, on the couch. It feels like I'm at the office. So I like it better. It's good, and and then we'll even go in. We officially the store is closed Sundays, Mondays, and Tuesdays. Sundays we do usually take off. But Mondays and Tuesdays, if we're not doing barrel picks, that gives us 3 days where we can go. We could drive, go to a distillery, do barrel picks, and then be back in time for Wednesday, opening the store at 11 a.m. So that's our goal. But when we're in town, when we're not doing barrel picks, we just go into the shop, and we're usually there by 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, and then we'll stay there till mid afternoon, and then we go back. So that's kind of our routine at this point. And we put the open sign on, and if somebody comes in on the Monday when we're there,
just say, I'm sure you get some stragglers in there.
Yeah, and then we're getting some of the regulars too are learning that if we're there, that as long as that open sign's on, they come in. So yeah, that's cool. That's working out well. Yeah.
So it sounds like this store would be a hard place for me to secure Fireball if I'm looking to build up.
Yeah. We had a woman come in the other day and said, "Do you have that new cookie dough whiskey?" And we're like, "No, we do not." And she's like, "Well, when are you getting it?" And we're like, "Never, actually. It's not our thing." So
until they do single barrel select, so cookie dough whiskey, then
it's interesting that, and it does happen. And I can't say it doesn't happen at all. It does happen. People walk in and they don't know what to think of us. Because you think, okay, here's a liquor store, and they walk in and there's 12 products. We got down to 6 at one point. It was a little scary. We got down to 6 barrel picks. That's all we had. So it's interesting to see people's reactions that don't know. If you guys, you walk in and the what it's going to be, it's easy to understand. But most people don't even understand what a barrel pick is if they're not really in bourbon. They just come walking in. You say, well, we just sell single barrels. And they're like, so I have to buy by the barrel? We're like, no. And they're like, well, where do you buy? All the time, 100%. Yeah. Or they ask where we bottle it then. Where are you bottling this? Is that in the back? And we're like, no, it comes to us bottled. We buy the barrel, but it just means we're buying the whole barrel. They bottle it to us and then ship it to us. So yeah, that's very common.
You have to educate the consumers a little bit.
Yeah.
Something McDonald's never has to worry about.
No, they don't have to worry about that. So yeah, we do. So yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. It's been a great experience. We got a lot of big things in the works. I mean, we're having fun with it, getting creative. One of the things we did right away was create this group, the syndicate, and it's just worked out really well. You kind of identify who your big supporters are. You created a club and give them a lot of benefits, and it ends up being really fun. So that's been great. Syndicate members are the people that you see again and again coming back to the shop. So it's just nice to have that. We started a new department that's going to be debuting this week. It's called Oddities. That's a department within the store. It's going to be 3 shelves. I don't know, they're like 10 feet long. So 30 linear feet of just one-offs. And it's going to be, I say it's like 3 categories of goods. It's going to be like the last couple bottles of barrel picks. So it's like, what do you do when you get down to 2 or 3 bottles? We're going to put them on the oddity shelf. The other thing is, just working with distillers. When we were up at Dancing Goat, they said, we were told we want different things. And they're like, well, we could send you a case of a lemon shandy moonshine we made. We worked with a local brewer and they sent us some lemon shandy and we made a moonshine with it. We're like, yes, we'll take a case of that. So stuff like that. I just had an event with Chris from Golden Beaver, and he had a soju, just something totally different. I've never even drank soju before. And I thought, you know what, this is pretty good. It's different. So just weird things that aren't barrel picks, but are just unique. And where else can you buy those type of things? And we'll know the full story of them and what distillers are making. So that's a thing. And then because we are a liquor store, we get to buy from the same distributors that any liquor store does, and we can get some of the allocated stuff, but we only get a bottle at a time. Jim and I didn't know what to do with that, and now we're going to throw, if we can get a bottle of Blanton's or Weller Special Reserve or whatever it is, we're going to throw it on our oddity shelf because it's just one bottle, and when it's gone, it's gone. There's no reserving it or asking for it. If you come in the store and it's on the shelf, grab it. And we're selling all the stuff for retail. we're not jacking the price of anything. We're in the bourbon industry. We get frustrated when we see these crazy prices. We're not doing that. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun new department.
By the fans for the fans.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. It just follows our mantra for sure. Anything else you guys want to know about what the heck is going on?
Just kudos, Steve. That's tremendous.
I'm proud to be your friend, and I'm proud to send people your way.
Thank you very much. That means a lot. And it's been really fun. And I think there's exciting times ahead. I think that the store is going to continue to grow. I believe that Jim and I opened it up really at the right time to be in a good place come the holiday season. Of course, in the liquor business, that fourth quarter is all important. And, you could be like, the previous year we were trying to get something going with that full service liquor store. And we're be like, if we can get this in September, we'll be good for the holidays. We wouldn't have been. No one in the business opening up in July. We're just going to be barely ready in time for the holidays. But I do think we're going to be ready. I think it's going to be a good holiday season. It was a little bit of a learning curve. Tony came by and saw us one time, and I don't even remember how many picks we had at that point, but it got down to 6 at one point. So but we weren't getting things approved by the state, and that ended up taking way longer than we thought. We thought it was going to be, we knew labels get approved in like 5 or 6 days, so we assumed that getting new distillers in the state was about the same. No, it's really at least 2 months, and then getting the distillers to send you the paperwork you need sometimes can be 2 months too. So a 2-month process can take 4 months.
Guilty.
Yeah, Cailee knows. Yeah, that stuff just happens. So.
Hey, even though that they were on the top of my priority list, it still took me about 2 weeks to get them the proper paperwork. It's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So you think about 8 weeks, you increased it by 25%. There's 2 more weeks on top of there. And the clock doesn't start ticking on that 2 months until we get everything. And it was even slowed down a little bit more than usual, my understanding, because the state has to approve everything. And then this time of the year, you're talking, all the beers have holiday releases and stuff like that. Some of the distilleries do too, but every beer has multiple holiday releases, and the state's got it. So the queue got even longer than normal with that stuff. But we're kind of past all that. If you've got a Christmas beer release, it's already in the works. So we're back to the normal 2 months now. So barrels are rolling in. So it's good time. So.
Yeah, they're not literally rolling in because they're all in bottles by the time.
I was going to say, my barrel, our barrel is still sitting up and aging, and we found out that it's literally, me and Becca took a picture in front of the barrel wall at Leatherwood, and it turns out the barrel directly on top of our heads is the barrel that ABV Network
that we selected.
Choosing.
Yeah, that was like a precursor in a movie or something.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing. Yeah, that was cool. So there you go. There's what's going on in my bourbon jobs. Fun stuff. So we'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Cailee, we'll start with you. Where can people find you?
You can come see me at Leatherwood Distillery or follow me on Instagram at Cailee Baker or at the Bourbon Bakers.
All right, Phil.
I'm on Twitter where I say the witty things at Derby City Phil, and I'm on Instagram where I post the so pretty pictures of Derby City Phil, and also Phil Talks Whiskey. For all your bourbon adventures, let me host you a whiskey good time.
All right, Tony.
You can find me on Instagram at Glass of Whiskey 86, and you can also find me bottling whiskey in Harrisburg at Kentucky Whiskey Bottling.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakley.com. The important website, though, is abvnetwork.com. Check it out because everything that we do is out there. We put all of our previous shows, blogs, so much more at abvnetwork.com. And we talked a lot about the Barrel Shop. Come by and see us. We're in Arnold, Missouri. That's a St. Louis suburb. And if you get on our mailing list, you'll know exactly what we have in stock. We'll keep you updated on all the events and things like that, or who's coming to visit us. It's all that at abvbarrelshop.com. Cailee, anything else to say before we get out of here?
Yeah, Steve, I just want to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review that includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. And if you like what we're doing, we ask that you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV
All right. Great job today, gang.
Yeah.
Special note, I want to thank Cailee for filling in for Becca last minute. So that was good
Absolutely.
stuff. You did a good job.
Well done, Cailee.
We had some fun with it. So, yeah. And you have a new appreciation for Becca, right?
Yes, I do. I already texted her, actually.
There you go. On that note, of course, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye, everyone.
See you later. Bye.
Adios.
Peace. Before we finish the show, let's talk about some great companies that support the ABV network. First up is Moonshine Still Pro. Moonshine Still Pro has a full line of products to help the home distiller. Whether you want to experiment on the stove in your kitchen or you're looking for a bigger setup in your backyard, owner Russell Creed and his team can help. They have multiple still offerings, accessories, and even grain from their partners at Goldstone Mill to assist you in making whiskey on par with your favorite distillery. They can also help you with some fabricated parts you probably can't make yourself if you are attempting a DIY still project. Learn more or order your still or parts at moonshinestillpro.com. Another friend of ours is the Goldstein family at Goldstone Mill. The Goldsteins offer a variety of heritage and heirloom grains to make the finest whiskeys in the world. Plus, they are more than just a grain company. They are truly consultants to make sure the grains they are providing to you or your business meet your highest expectations. Additionally, they work with mills around the country, ensuring shipping is as low as possible for their customers. If you're a distillery, brewery, or even doing this at home, Goldstone can assist you. Check them out at goldstonemill.com, call them at 217-254-6613, or check in via email at hello@goldstonemill.com. Last but not least is the ABV Barrel Shop. While we don't get to play in the allocated bourbon game because we aren't selling the other products you have to do to get those, we do have access via our friendships in the bourbon industry to some really cool stuff. Have you ever seen your favorite craft distiller selling some really cool limited offerings only in their gift shop? I'm talking things like the hazmat offering Distillery 291 did for their 10th anniversary, or Neely Family Distillery's Papaw's birthday barrel. They don't have enough of it to send it out to distributors, so they only sell it via their gift shop. Well, companies like Distillery 291 and Neely Family Distillery have agreed to sell us 2 or 3 cases of these offerings moving forward, meaning our store will have the access to some of the rarest whiskeys in the world. Way more difficult to come by than the allocated bourbon offerings with a national release. Yes, they will be extremely tough to come by, but if you're a customer of our store, you'll have a chance to get them. Get signed up for our email or text list over at abvbarrelshop.com so you don't miss out.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akley production.